Okay, so shaft seal, go ahead and grease up the edge of this. There's a couple ways. They can kind of be a little bit tricky sometimes with actually getting them in. The MCR10s aren't too bad. They normally just need a little bit of a tap in. What you want to avoid is there's actually a coil, there's a spring in here. It's probably hard to see in the video, but when you get your hands on one while you're doing your reassembly, you'll see. So I'm going to actually tap this in with the back end of my hammer here, and hopefully it'll just stay in there nice and snug. What you want to avoid is hitting this surface. I'm going for the back side here. I'm just kind of gently tapping that in. Want to make sure that that seal is flush with the housing. It's going to stick up just a little bit higher than that, but you'll feel when it dead ends in there. The reason why we actually install this shaft seal first, so that way I can flip this over, put my bearing in my face seal. If I put my bearing in first and my face seal, then I have to flip this whole housing over, and in order to install that shaft seal, your bench or whatever material is going to be rubbing all over your metal face seals, which you don't want because you don't want to scratch them up. So that's why we put the shaft seal in first. So bearing goes in, cone side up. Just kind of get that started. Grab our hammer. So once I get it down to a point where I can't really there we go. So I don't know if you could hear that, but there's definitely a distinct sound difference. You can tell when you bottom out and hit the bottom of that bearing race. The bearing race, at least on the housing. So just one or two more times, see how it feels. Go ahead and put that up. So now I'm going to go ahead and install my face seal. So I've already greased that side. Just going to go ahead and throw a little bit of grease in here. Again, that's just to help this face seal go in nice and smooth without having any hiccups, since we're installing them by hand. So go ahead and unwrap our face seals here. Alright, so we got, these are already pre-installed the actual correct way, so you don't have to worry about taking the O-rings off or doing anything crazy. So this is just going to go in here, just like so. And then actually got this little screwdriver I've kind of rounded off so it's not square and pointy. The idea is you don't want to roll your O-ring, so I like to apply some pressure, and then I just kind of slowly with that dull edge just kind of start working it in. You want to kind of try and keep pushing away, or else you can kind of get a little bit of a bubble at the end while you're assembling these, which can be kind of a pain to fight through. The other thing is you don't want to apply too much pressure directly down into it. You don't want to just be shoving down. What can happen if you apply too much pressure that way, either you can, one, cut the O-ring itself, which might not leak right now or within the first few hours, but it definitely is going to cause that wear and tear faster and sooner while you're using your machine. So we're just kind of slowly working this in, and again, I don't have too much pressure on my fingers. It's more on the palm of my hand, because you want to let this metal O-ring fall into place with the actual rubber O-ring, or I should say the metal face seal, not the O-ring. So you're trying to just get everything to glide right down into place. So that's why we use the grease. We're just going to keep working it in nice and slow. Just trying to keep even pressure. This one's a bit easier because you don't have the spindle in your way. I can actually reach over the whole face seal and apply pretty even pressure. And like I said, you're going to want to keep pushing it away from yourself, because if you just push straight down or if you push them backwards, you're going to create kind of a bubble later on. You can kind of see there it's sticking out a little bit more than here. But if I were pushing backward, you could have a hole where you could actually see between the metal and the rubber. So again, it's more just be gentle with it. They can be a little trying from time to time. So, you know, if you're working on one of these, just come back and just rewatch the video, give it a second chance. I've had plenty of these that are just kind of a pain. So I'll go back around and I'll kind of look, see if we can get this in a good camera angle. Kind of look and see how there's a high spot in here. I'll just kind of try and work that back down so everything's even. And once you press these in and we test them on our test bench, we always end up having them work out nice and even like they should be. So I just kind of go around and look for any high spots. Looks like there was only those two. So on to the next side. So we're gonna go ahead. Like I said, this one's a little bit trickier. I can't just hold my hand over the whole thing like I was before. So I kind of go with the C shape, and you want to try and push this face seal in on the back side here. Get a low spot, push it in, and then I kind of hold down. I don't know how easy it is to see in that video, but we kind of just want to hold that down. And then obviously if you're left-handed, you're going to be working from the other side. So we just want to get it started, and once it's about halfway down, they normally will hold themselves pretty good. This is the easier one to actually push too far through because you have this ledge. When we're working on this one, you don't have this steep angle you're trying to work into. So again, we're just slowly trying to ease this down. This is honestly the longest part of building these motors, is getting these face seals in. So we're just slowly working that in. This one's going pretty smooth for me here. And sometimes you can actually, since this is rounded, I can actually get under and it's kind of a little twisting motion. So I don't want to roll the O-ring like I said before, but you can kind of guide it past. There's a little lip on the metal here. You can kind of guide it just past, and with enough pressure on your thumb here, you can kind of allow that metal to just follow it right down in. Like I said, I'm just trying to scoot it backwards so I don't end up with a big bubble at the end. So we're just slowly working this in, making sure to be gentle on the O-ring. Looking good so far. Working it in, keeping that pressure even. Also, another thing to be careful of, I have cut myself enough times to tell you guys not to do it. This metal might not look very sharp, but the edge of this face seal, if you slip, can give you a nice little slice to the thumb or the finger, or whatever you're holding it. I've cut my thumb enough times on one. So this one's actually a little bigger than I expected. You can kind of see in there, I wasn't pushing as much as I needed to be, but easy fix, good for the video. You just kind of let it work in. You just want to try and keep working it, and it might keep trying to work itself backwards, but eventually you'll get enough of that material in there where, just like that, we're looking pretty good. So then one thing I like to try and do is I just apply a little bit of pressure all the way around. You don't want to push too hard on one side or the other. You can kind of cockeye it and your O-ring will flop out, which is not what you want, obviously. So other than that, we'll go through to the same thing. It's going to be pretty hard to see in there. You can see there's a couple little high spots, so we'll just kind of help those down just a little bit. Like I said, you don't want a ton of pressure. You're going to push that O-ring out and under. Couple little high spots there. And that's looking pretty good. All right, the hardest part is over. You've made it this far, you're doing great. Okay, so we got this up in the press. One thing I didn't mention, two things I didn't mention actually. Make sure before you press these face seals together here, you're going to want to oil them or lubricate them somehow. You can use hydraulic oil or gear oil. Just make sure that they're not totally dry, that way you don't score them up. The other thing I had mentioned before, that I have an oil plug that's actually underneath and two on the side. If your actual drive motor doesn't have that oil plug, to do yourself a favor, you can actually fill this gear, this spindle, this hub up about up to the top of the face seals, because you're gonna have to plug one side and then only one side's open, so there's a lack of airflow, and it can be kind of tedious filling that with gear oil. Luckily, I have that third hole down there, so I don't have to fill mine right now with oil because it'll fill a lot faster.